In the months between July and October of 1940, the Battle of Britain was taking place in the skies of London, and the fate of Europe was essentially held in the balance by stressed, overworked, and outnumbered Allied airmen. If the Luftwaffe had managed to win the battle, the English Channel would have opened up and Hitler would have seized the opportunity to invade and subjugate Western Europe's last bastion of hope, therefore freeing up vital resources to annihilate the Russians and potentially leading to his ultimate victory in World War II. With all this said, however, approximately 3,000 airmen had something to say about this, and with around 2,000 serviceable aircraft ready for action, these brave men took to the skies to face an enemy that outnumbered them by over 500 aircraft. Now, although 80% of the Allied fighting force was of course British, and the Brits did an honourable job in defending their country, I've always felt not enough credit is given to the Eastern European fighter pilots, particularly those of Polish and Czechoslovakian origin, and their strategy whilst fighting alongside their British brethren. Following the occupation of their respective countries during the war, many Polish and Czech military personnel fled to France and Britain, with their numbers reaching 85,000 by mid-1940, with a further 35,000 managing to escape the fall of France and settling in England. Although these pilots were extremely experienced and had hundreds of hours of pre-war flying experience under their belts, British high command were very skeptical of their abilities as they saw the fall of Warsaw to be due to incompetence and lack of training. In addition to this, due to the language barrier, relations between the two allies were blunted even further, and in one tragic case during the Battle of Britain, a Polish fighter bailed out of his plane and was beat to death when he landed by angry civilians who misinterpreted his Polish for German. Nonetheless, when it really came down to the wire, the British government finally announced the formation of Polish squadrons 302 and 303 and the Czechoslovak squadrons of 310 and 312. These squadrons were mainly comprised of Eastern European ground crews and pilots, however, they did have commanding British officers. The Eastern Europeans, specifically the Polish however, had an entirely different strategy compared to all the other Allied combatants. The Polish pilots had been well trained in combat formation and had learned from the previous battle experiences of the war to fire from a close range to almost guarantee a kill. One British pilot, Atoll Forbes, even remarked after firing a brief opening burst at 150 to 200 yards, just to get on the enemy's nerves, the Poles would close to an almost point-blank range, and that's when they did their real work. When they go tearing into enemy bombers and fighters, they get so close you'd think they were going to collide. And conversely, one Polish pilot went as far as to refer to the flying formation and set-piece attacks practiced in the RAF as simply suicidal. Now, onto the actual battle itself. 139 Polish pilots took part in the Battle of Britain, with 89 of them being in the designated Polish squadrons and 50 being dispersed to different ones. In addition to this, nearly 90 Czechoslovak pilots fought in the Battle of Britain as well, with these Czech pilots earning a reputation for aggressive aerial combat skills and bravery and claiming almost 60 kills. The Polish, however, due to their extensive combat experience and solid tactics, shot down 201 aircraft, with the Polish Squadron 303 claiming the highest number of kills of all Allied squadrons in the Battle of Britain, achieving a total of 126 kills. Ultimately, due to the brave actions of every single Allied pilot that day, Britain was able to put a halt to Germany's seemingly unstoppable advance, and they were forced to attack the Russians without the full control of Western Europe. This victory was undoubtedly the most important for the Allies as it refreshed morale, allowed time for the US to intervene, and forced Germany's hand into an unfavourable situation. And the reason I specifically highlighted these Eastern European pilots is because I feel their huge contribution to this extremely important battle often goes unnoticed. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I want to share a couple of extraordinary Eastern European aces with you guys that helped in the Battle of Britain. Just before I go, however, if you are enjoying the channel and you love this niche World War I, World War II and Vietnam War content, then it would be really appreciated if you checked out the Patreon and considered becoming a patron yourself, because this channel at the moment is funded by patrons and it's not profitable because YouTube does not like many of the videos we post, as they are deemed not advertiser friendly, some of them are age restricted, so the channel is a bit of a turbulent one, and all your donations help stabilize it just that little bit more. Anyways guys, enjoy the slideshow.